Before we proceed with the WHMCS installation, we need to create a database. Now, this is right after we have accessed our WHMCS files from Namecheap's website. Now, if you haven't already downloaded those files, please make sure you do so before you proceed. Or if you have WHMCS files already on your desktop, that is fine. Let's proceed with the video. Now, WHMCS uses databases to store everything related to your hosting business, including client accounts, invoices, payments, support tickets, and system settings. Without a properly configured database, WHMCS will not install or function correctly. So in this section, I will walk you through the entire process inside cPanel step by step. First, log into your cPanel dashboard. Right after login, this is the interface you would see. From here, you have two options: either accessing your database creation process through the search bar or just using what you have on your home page. So you can search database on the search bar or scroll down to the database section in the home page. Click on MySQL databases, or otherwise manage MySQL databases. Now this is where you can create and manage your databases, as well as control how applications like WHMCS access them. On the next window, let's look at creating the database. Under the Create New Database section, enter a name for your database. Now, for clarity and organization, I recommend using something simple, such as WHMCS or WHMCS DB. So for this particular video, I'm going to use WHMCS DB. cPanel will automatically add your account prefix to the database name, and this is normal and expected. Once you have entered the name, click Create Database. When you see the confirmation message, the database has been created successfully. What we're going to look at is creating the database user. Scroll down to the MySQL user section. Now here, a database user is what WHMCS will use to securely connect to the database. So now here, enter a username and generate a strong password. So for this particular one, I will just use WHMCS user as the username. Now generate the password. This will require you to copy the password that you just generated before you can save it or use this password for this specific database user. So make sure you copy and save the password. You will need it during the WHMCS installation. Once you are sure that the password has been saved securely and can be accessed later for the installation, click Create User to continue. Alright, the next page or the next section, we are going to assign user privileges to this specific database. So we are going to assign the user to that specific database that we created earlier. Now at this point, we have a database and a user, but they are not connected yet. So let's scroll down to add user to database. From the drop down menus, let's select the database you just created and also select the user you just created. Now, if you have multiple databases in your cPanel account, you would have to select. But if this is the only database you just created on that specific account or cPanel account, you will see that you don't really have a list or drop down to select from. You just select from the databases that you created. So once you are done with that, click Add. On the permission screen, check all privileges. This gives WHMCS full permission to create tables, store data, and manage its systems. Now click Make Changes to apply the permissions. Now, before leaving this page, make sure you save the following information: your database name and your database username. Now remember, we already saved our database password securely in another place. So what you can do is just copy your database name or your database user and add it to that particular document, the password. Now your database name, your database username can always be accessed. So once you open the specific database you are working with and you click on add, it will redirect you to this same page where you can access the database name and the database username. And these exact details will be required during the WHMCS installation. Now take note, even a small mistake such as an incorrect character or extra spaces can cause the installation to fail. So you need to make sure that this information, or whenever you are copying them, you are copying the exact details. Now that the database has been created and properly configured, we are ready to proceed. So in the next step, we will upload the WHMCS files, which we downloaded on Namecheap's website, or if you have your own WHMCS files, that is fine, and begin the installation process.